Hi everybody, Steve Farmer here, bringing you feature game number 2 from round 1 from the 2012 U.S. Amateur West Regional. Now this game was played on May 26th, and it features Anthony Conyers playing white. He's rated 1956. Anthony ended up tying for first in this event. Hats off to him for that. And he's playing a friend of mine, Morry Holland, who is rated 1795. Now, if this was chess boxing, I'd put my money on Morry, but since it's just chess, I'm going to have to put my money on Anthony. White starts out with d4, and Morry answers with e6, c4, and f5. And I'm going to go through the opening rather quickly because I don't play the Dutch defense. I would not recommend anybody to play the Dutch defense, and I'm not even going to say it's viable. That's up to you to decide. Alright, so very standard stuff here though. I always was a fan of this rerouting the knight circuit here like white has done. And you know, if black tries to do a stonewall with d5, you can end up playing f3 and e4 as white, and it's really not a difficult plan to come up with for white. Alright, castling was played, and now Morry plays a rather odd looking move I've never seen before, and it's indeed a novelty. Usually you do see e5 here, but Morry played queen to e8. Now b4, and I think that queen to b3 was probably a better idea, but b4 and e5, and yeah, okay, maybe the position's equal, maybe white's a tiny bit better, certainly has a little more space. Alright, d5, and now I think Morry should have played e4 here. And after knight f4, knight e5, that looks like a fun game. He played knight to b8. He must think he's a French player. a4, bishop to d7, b5. Okay, Morry plays c5. Queen f7 is probably a better move, but he plays c5. And now, white to play, he can get an advantage out of this position right here. Things are pretty level at this point, but black has left the door open. Look for a tactic here that would give white the advantage. Pause the video, see if you can find it. Don't take too much time on it. It should come to you rather quickly. Okay, glad you're back. I hope you found knight takes e5. It's a very simple motif. And the point is that d takes e5, then we got d6, and after e4 we got to block that bishop. It's hitting the pawn on b7. D takes e7 and queen takes, and I think that white's a bit better here. He's got the bishop pair, and once things start breaking open, that bishop pair is going to be a little more powerful than the black arsenal. But Morry played queen to h5 here, and now knight to d3. Just grabbed a pawn and ran away with it. Now, Morry is an aggressive player, and he plays g5. And we're going to see him try and throw the kitchen sink at his opponent here. f4 was played. If we go back, let's take a look at this. You know, the old saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Well, why couldn't he have played knight takes c5 here? Well, if he takes, then we got d6 again, bishop d8 and bishop b7, or you can trade the bishop for the pawn. Not good. Either case, white's going to come out better. So rook to c8 can be tried. Now we can just play knight takes b7, rook takes c4, and I really like white's position here. He's up 2 pawns, and he can reroute that knight to a5 to c6. You know, of course, he has to protect the one on c3 first. But I think white's doing quite pleasantly well here. Instead, Anthony played f4, and now g4, and now he doesn't let it pass by again. He plays knight takes c5. And again, same old song and dance. If you take, we got this going on. So knight to e8, knight to e6. It's a nice move. If he takes, we can take, and then we can always play bishop to d5 as white with a very dominating position. So rook to f6. And here I thought e4 would be a good move, and it probably is. Anthony played rook to f2. One of those mysterious A-player rook moves. Rook to h6. Bishop h1. Ah, the reason's unveiled. Guards h2. Right, bishop f6. Rook to a3. Some more lateral work with the rooks here. Bishop c8. Bishop e3. Knight to d7. a5. Just working for more space. Knight f8. Knight takes knight. King takes, and now c5. Playing for space. Now I think that queen f7 should be played, but I think that white's quite a bit better after c6, a6, and b6. It's going to be similar to what we see in the game. But Morry played bishop takes knight on c3, and now rook takes, and now knight f6. Anthony plays bishop to d4, which is, he's trying to prepare the move c6, but I think he should have played c takes d6. This is allowing the rook to penetrate, and if bishop to d7, we can play queen to b3, and we're ready for rook to c7. But Conyers plays bishop to d4 here, and after knight to e4, probably the best defensive chances came from queen to e8, but okay. Knight to e4, bishop takes, pawn takes, and now e3. And white has solidified his position, and he has 2 pawns advantage and a lot of action on the queen side going on. Now bishop d7 was played, and now he can throw in c6, bishop c8, and b6. Morry tries to hold off the floodgates here with a6. Now queen to b3, rook to b8, and c7. And unfortunately the score sheet is illegible at this point. But white did go on to win. And I think, obviously rook f8, and now f5. White's just tying black up all over the board. Okay, let's go here where the score sheet goes incomplete. So this was the final position. I just thought it was an interesting game to show you the little motif of taking on e5 and then having the ability to take on c5 with the same trick. It's amazing what we'll play and what we'll miss when we're playing a game. And to miss the same tactic twice, you got to really slap yourself upside the head for that one. Tough game for Morry, but it was a start to a good tournament for Anthony, who was playing white here. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Leave comments, vote 5 pawns. Go ahead. You feel good about it. Do it. Until next time, good luck.